there's a lot of different ways and illustrations in terms of like kind of visualizing what a business looks like. I think Donald Miller with StoryBrand thinks of he likes to use an airplane illustration for business, and then the different components of the airplane he's got mapped out to different elements of business. Personally, I like the one of the ones I like is the tree. Um, a tree, the health of the tree is determined in a large measure by the roots. And the health of the roots is in a large measure determined by the location of the roots, i.e., the environment, right? So, like in Psalms 1, that tree that's planted by the water, that can be a very healthy tree that produces well because it's got water where it needs it at the roots, right? It can have a very healthy root system. And, um, we've got, some big pecans around here. I think this may have been used to be a pecan like orchard maybe at one point that later became part of the city, I guess. And some of the trees are pretty, really quite large and substantial. We got some age to them, and a lot of them are, branches are just, the tree is just kind of slowly dying and falling. It's and sometimes not so slowly, right? Like if they get really in really bad shape, they can just completely fall over. One of our neighbor's trees just fell over. I was in my office here and I heard this loud kind of crash type thing, and didn't know what it was. Went out and looked. At least at some point, I figured out. Oh, that was a huge tree just fell over. So why is that? Well, it's because the root system was not good, right? Now I don't know what all the factors involved were, but it's trees. In my understanding, it's all about the health of the roots. And so when it comes to a business, um, you know, it's what's below ground that really shapes what you see above ground, right? And sometimes it takes quite a while to develop that root system. But if the root system is really healthy, the top part of the tree can flourish and grow, and it can survive some droughts, some tough times. Yeah, some branches may fall off and break and die, but overall the tree can be very healthy, and it can last a long time too. If that root system is healthy and it was able to, yeah. So what's the root system in business? Well, I don't know, exactly what all to map the root system to, but I would say that things like the who the founder is, his character and his motivations, his ability to well, I'd say character and motivation, the founder, are probably two of the big things. And then I think in terms of environment for the roots, another big thing is, and there's also environment in terms of sunlight, right? So there's various elements of the environment, but I think in terms of environment, I want to say that the product market fit is going to be the other probably biggest single element besides the founders, the quality of person that the founder is, because you can have terrific people who grow a business very slowly because there's simply not a demand in the market. So, market is greater than marketing, and so you can grow a company rapidly, even with pretty imperfect systems and processes and people, I think, if there's a lot of demand for it. But it's very hard I think, to go the other way. It's very hard to have like perfect systems and processes and grow a company rapidly through that when there's very little demand for the product. So, you know, don't try to. I think it's easy to fall in love with an idea and try to generate demand for it, when the better way, I think, is to think about it is to test if there's demand, and then to aggressively attempt to build your company from there. But being able to adapt and to stay with, in other words, be humble enough to let the market tell you what it wants, and then build that for the market. Now, there are some counterpoints, some exceptions, but on the whole, if you're a small business owner, you don't want to be fighting the market. You want the market to love what you do. Another part of the root system, you might say, or at least something that really affects the health of the entire tree, the entire business, is the customer satisfaction. You could have a really innovative product, but if you do a really lousy job of taking care of your customers, you are setting yourself up you're just creating drag on the entire operation. And so without customer satisfaction, your referrals go down, your reviews online are worse, your marketing costs are higher. You've got headwinds on marketing and sales that you don't need to have if you do a great job of customer service. And I guess some of what I'm learning about customer service, for companies that are a little larger, is that having alignment across departments is a big thing that helps companies achieve that customer service. Because when there's a disagreement on what the objective is, and then I think it makes it very hard to provide a cohesive experience for the customer.